ready for her to speak. And then this year, you know, each year we have this, everyone likes to be the victim. So this year the victims, of course, were the poor in Petah Tikva, the poor Ethiopians, you know, who got bandied about. It's a long story, not very funny for the most part. But the humor was that ultimately they got sent to this Haredi school, right? And so the kid comes home to his mother and he says, "What, you want me to study with blacks?" It wasn't going to happen, right? Anyway, of course, so the Ethiopians displaced the Shasnikim, who usually like to be the persecuted and the victims, right? Especially with this guy Ben Israel. Again, I don't know how much you know about it, but he was convicted of a moral turpitude, and off he went to prison, to the canner, the slammer. And so what happened was that the Shas is now demanding for the release of Gilad Shalit, that Shlomo Ben Israel also be set free. Okay, so this is like really complicating the larger political scheme. And you know, everyone's getting in on poor Gilad Shalit. This is really horrible. You know, this artist Ninette, you know, she chums up to his father and Noah, and he says, "Oh, he missed my last album, and now he's going to miss this album." And then, of course, the negotiations were, you know, there was a recent video of Gilad Shalit, right, that came out, and so in the end, they were a lot more complicated than they showed up, because the Hamas was ready to release another 200,000 stolen DVDs. If they would release a few more prisoners, or some of the outtakes from the Gilad Shalit in the studio, you know, but in the end they only got 21 prisoners. And the whole thing is such a time warp, right? Because just the week before, there was this letter from Gilad Shalit that had taken 3 years to get here, right? You know, of course, at the post office, they say, 3 years? We could have done it in 2, you know. But it took forever for this letter to get here, okay? And of course, in it, the letter, he pleads, you know, he blames it all on Olmert and Peretz. So, of course, Netanyahu gets it right up to the microphones, and yes, let's get this out. And then, of course, the other news of real note is that we've had a revolution here, that the Attorney General has now said that rabbis cannot take fees for performing marriages. Whatever, the whole country is in bad shape. Anyway, this is one manifestation out of it. So immediately, whoa, the rabbis discover Cyprus, let's go. I mean, you know, if it's good enough for the Chilonim, let's get on the plane and perform the marriage. And of course the other rabbi says, no, I wasn't taking money for the marriage, I was taking money for the broken cup, you know. or the halls getting there, no, let's do a rabbi DJ combo, you know. Whatever, sort of a, yeah, you had to be there. Okay. Anyway, so we had also the big news of late. We had these 2 concerts from these international rock artists, right? For those of you who know, the under 85 set out there. We had Donna Kane, right? And then we had Leonard Cohen, okay? And we had Leonard Cohen, and again, I mean, $1,000 a ticket. You know, after the 2 of them left, the Central Bureau of Statistics reported that the number of people in poverty increased by 100,000. So much money, right? And of course, the weird thing was that Leonard Cohen fainted a week before he got here, okay? So Shimon Peres, who also fainted, you know, Leonard Cohen is like 70, and Shimon Peres is like 84. And Shimon says, look, even young people faint too, you know. And poor Shimon, I mean, you know, he wakes up, and it's like the second time in 13 years that Benjamin Netanyahu is there. He's just couldn't handle it. And the ironic thing was that the newspapers reported how he was he was joking with all of his doctors, okay, and he was just furious. He said, no, my comprehensive peace plan for the Middle East was set in earnest. It's really going to happen, you know. Another plan. Right, and anyway, then of course also we have our foreign minister, Mr. Lieberman, who traveled, who was in Africa. Now, I don't know if you know what he was doing there, but he was learning how to perform loyalty oaths, right? He would go to these tribes where they would pull people over the coals, or they pull their tongues out. And anyway, this is what he's got in for our less endowed minorities. And anybody here watch TV? Anybody watch TV here?
Yeah.
Israeli TV? Israeli TV scene, right? The lineup, right? We have our it'll be the 8th season of The Survivor, you know. And so finally, the Filipinos get it right, that, you know, after what they go through to call our, you know, avoiding the police, taking these autocrackers to the Kupat Holim, and this and that and the other thing, that is the true Survivor series. And then, of course, right, you all saw Bibi was at the UN, right? He won, he did good. But Obama was there, right? And he says, of course, we are not going to solve the world's problems. You know, whatever happened, yes, we can. You know, it's not going to work. So it was, and then of course, yeah, whatever. Obama's got a lot of problems. One of which is that he doesn't talk to his generals. You know, or that they're about to lose this war in Afghanistan, all because the Democrats can't develop any fiber. But okay, that's not funny at all. But anyway, what this general has to do, of course, is get a talk show. That's the way Barack Obama speaks to people, or at least I don't know if you could befriend him on Facebook or something. I don't know. And then of course, when Netanyahu was at the UN, he gave this speech, right, and he starts waving these Auschwitz floor plans. You know, of course, the only one interested in this was Ahmadinejad, right? This is something real, you know. Yeah, well, he had Ahmadinejad, right? Had a hard time in New York. He went into a restaurant, though. You know, it said no shoes, no serve, no shirts, no Holocaust, no service. You know, and he just couldn't get waited on, right? And then, of course, the latest with him was that he found there's this rumor that he is of Jewish origin and changed his name, and maybe that's why he's so wacko. You know, of course, he was the Mark Ahmadinejad Stein, you know, somewhere out there in rural Persia. Anyway, yeah. So, but now, of course, we get to the point of the show where we go back to the right. I can feel the gorilla thing out there. We go back to the tried and true differences of the genders, right? You know, there was a recent survey, or a recent book that came out that says that, you know, that women have sex because of many reasons. You know, it could be as much as they feel sorry, they feel an obligation, blah 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 blah. And of course, you know, all the guys in unison hear this and say, oh, whatever, you know. And then the real personal part of this was that one day Chani calls us up. And she says, you know, I have a wardrobe question. Should I speak to you or your wife? And I thought, me? You know, I'm a guy. You know, if it doesn't smell and it doesn't walk away, then I wear it. You know, wardrobe, and then, of course, my wife, she stands in front of the mirror hours on end, you know. Whoa, the earrings match the toe polish and the shoes. I mean, she must be. Maybe she's got a boyfriend. I think it's more that she dresses up for all the other women at work. It's just such a different world. Whatever, you know. And yeah, that's about it on the personal, the local scene. I don't know, in America, it's falling apart, you know. I mean, Chrysler doesn't put manuals in their cars anymore. They don't put the owners in their cars either. They don't put manuals in it. You know, what was the favorite color for the 9th year in a row of cars?
White.
It was, right. There's all 3 of their cars in the solar summer. Thank you very much. You've been a lovely audience. Pinchas Levinson, everybody. Keep it going.